everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. And today I'll be reading two different indie romances.
It's Brittany, bitch.
To my knowledge, both these books are indie romances by indie authors. Now, I believe one of these authors for sure has been traditionally published. However, they do seem to prefer to be indie published. So I want to set that off the bat. I'm not 100% sure on these, but to my knowledge, both these authors are indie. And I think that's why it's been so hard getting my hand on their books. One of the books I'll be reading is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. And this is a slow burn romance. She is very well known for her slow burn indie romance. I know pretty much nothing about this book other than the fact that literally everybody recommends it and talks about how much they love this book of hers. I know we have Aurora, and I think it's Rhodes, and those are our two main characters, and it's a slow burn romance in the Colorado mountainside. So that's all I really know at this point. It is kind of a chunky book. It's a lot thicker than I was anticipating. I did not realize how big this was. So this will definitely be the second book that I attempt just because it is such a large book, and I've been having a hard time reading as of late, especially physical books, just because I haven't really been reading physically. I've been reading on my Kindle or I've been listening to audiobooks. And even a lot of times when I have the physical book, I tend to listen to the audiobooks if they're offered, and there is no audiobook for this in my library systems. So I'll be starting off this reading vlog with Penelope Douglas's Punk 57, and this is a bully romance, and it is one of Chandler's favorite books, so I really want to give this one a shot, but bully romances are not really my thing. However, this book is definitely the shorter one of the two, so I'll definitely be attempting this one first, but all I really know about this one is a pen pal romance, and it is a bully romance. So we have Misha and Ryan. So Misha is the male character and Ryan is the female character. But Misha and Ryan have been pen pals for a very long time. I think it's like 7 years or something at this point, and they really love each other and they're really good friends and everything until they end up meeting, and now they don't get along. So that's all I really know about this book. If I'm wrong about that synopsis, I will let you know later on, but I hope to get to the 50% mark in this very soon. It doesn't seem like that large of a novel, but again, I haven't been reading physically in months, and on top of it, I've just had some life events that I've not maybe want to read, and I haven't really been reading for the past like 2 weeks. So I'm really counting on these books to pull me a little bit out of a reading slump, but also really get me excited into the indie romance genre. When I get to around the halfway mark, I'm going to hopefully fill you in unless something else really crazy happens up front, but that is the plan. So hopefully in the next few days here, I will have more of an update for you. But for now, I'm just trying to get back into reading.
Sometimes my mind is away. I drift into space, don't know where to go. Sometimes I think I'm okay, I'm feeling the same. My reasons are gone. Say my name, cause baby I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling, falling. So won't you say my name, cause baby I'm falling.
So I decided to actually start with All Roads Lead Here and intentionally finish this one first, even though this is the baddest, biggest bitch of this reading vlog, because I originally read half of Punk 57 and I had to return it to the library because it was on hold. So I literally read half of it and had to fucking return it. This is a brand new copy, and something's up with the cover. I don't even know. I don't think this is the exact same one. Maybe it is. I have no idea, but I literally read half of this, had to return it, and so I picked up All Roads Lead Here instead. So I'm a little over 200 pages into this, and so far I'm really enjoying it, but I do have to say that this started off really fucking slow for me. Like, the first 50 pages was definitely like really hard to get into. I've also never read this author before, and I think I had a hard time adjusting to her writing style. It just seems, I don't think that the writing style is juvenile. I think our main character is a little like naive and frustrating because she's so, not like innocent, but she's a little like juvenile, right? She's a little like immature, and so reading from her perspective is really frustrating. And I think it's also like annoying because there's a little bit of dramatic irony. Like, we know some things, or we're assuming some things, and she's just like, well, I don't really know. And I'm like, can you just fucking figure it out? You're like you're older than me. You're like a 33-year-old woman. Can you just figure your shit out before you fucking put it on the page? I don't care about your bumbling thoughts. Thanks. But as I've gotten more into this book, I've actually really enjoyed it. And it's obviously a slow burn romance. It's taking place in Colorado, in the mountains, and it's really sweet and heartfelt. And I'm kind of liking this really slow pace. It's definitely not like a fast read. It's definitely a slower read in general, but I kind of like the leisurely pace. I mean, I really don't think this book needed to be like almost 600 pages. They could have definitely cut out some stuff out, but you also kind of get into her perspective more. I don't know, I'm not mad at it. I just definitely think some things could have been cut out. Like, do I really need to see her on every hike bumbling and not doing well? Not really. That's also something to note, is that her mom, basically, this is her hometown she's returning to. Her mom got lost on a trail a long time ago and she was never recovered. So we don't really know what happened to her mom, if she survived. We assume she didn't survive. She has a notebook of her mom's and she's trying to like go through her mom's favorite hikes, and like her mom like would say like the difficulty level and put a star next to the one she likes and all that. So her being back home is trying to like reconnect with her mom a little bit too, you know, like posthumously. Is that the correct word? I don't know. And all the while she's staying in Rhodes, like above garage apartment. I'll kind of give you guys a better synopsis later, but I feel like my brain's a little fried from work right now. So like I just can't give it to you, but I've been reading this book as much as I can outside. Every time I go out on the weekends, I've been reading this because I don't really read a whole lot physically during the week. On the weekends, I've kind of been making a habit of going to coffee shops and reading at least, I would say like 50 to 70 pages, like however I can, like while I'm enjoying my breakfast, and then I'll bounce. And sometimes I read a little bit later. Like I definitely read like 150 pages of this in like one day, but then sometimes you read like 20 pages because I end up talking to people or something. Anyway, nobody cares my fucking talking habits, but when I get further into this, I'll let you guys know. I would really like to just be able to finish this and get back to you. So that's probably gonna be my plan, but this is a very hefty book. I don't think it needs to be that long, but I'm not mad at the ride. I'm enjoying the slower pace. I'm enjoying taking the time to actually sit and read a novel. So when I finish this, I will let you guys know my full thoughts and give you a better synopsis, because right now I'm sure you know absolutely jack shit about this book.
Sometimes my mind is away. I drift into space, don't know where to go. Sometimes I think I'm okay. I'm feeling the same. My reasons are gone. Say my name.
Hello, totally random PSA again, but I just want you guys know that I finally got my hands on this French cashmere vanilla soothing body stick. This has been sold out of Target forever, and I put a notification on it and I got one today. It's already sold out again, so you know it's good. But basically, Ashley Tisdale is the founder of this company, to my understanding, and she literally has a quote on the back talking about how this product is magic and she uses it every single day. It actually matches my desk and it's wonderful, so I keep it on my desk, but I use it for my neck, and it has magnesium in it, so if my neck's feeling a little bit tense, I literally put it on and it actually cools, so it feels really fucking good, and it smells like a perfume. It smells delightful. That is just my PSA for this product. You should definitely fucking use it. I'm obsessed. Hello, I would just like to pop in to complain. I am very, very frustrated. I'm like 470 pages in at this point. We just passed a part where we finally got an explanation as to why Rhodes has been referring to Aurora as Buddy. So he's been calling her Buddy a lot, or like in the sentence of like, hey, do you want to go do this, Buddy? And Buddy's always capitalized, which like I just did not catch on to. He's referring to Buddy the elf. He thinks she's like Buddy the elf. I'm sorry. That is so fucking cringe. I am like literally deceased. I don't like that. I didn't like it in general. I don't want somebody who wants to fuck me calling me Buddy. Unless it's like a joke and it's like one time we're in the woods being each other's like buddies or something so we don't get murdered. Don't call me fucking Buddy ever. Don't call me kiddo. Don't call me Buddy. Are we fucking or are we not fucking? I don't want the man who's piping me to call me Buddy. I think that's fucking weird. I don't like it. I'm out. And especially because I don't remember them ever like watching Elf together. Why is that fucking relevant? It would also be a little bit different if they were watching Elf and then he was like, oh, you're like Buddy, like, ha, Buddy. And it was like an inside joke. It felt like something only he knew and she was confused by and we were all confused by. Didn't like it. This bitch is also so dumb because he kept calling her Angel and she's like, oh, he's getting my name wrong. I'm like, your name is Aurora, you idiot. Your name isn't Angela. He's obviously using it as a pet name. Like, are you that fucking dumb? Anyway, I'm gonna finish this book and get back to you guys a little bit later today. Hopefully today, if not tomorrow morning, because I need to return this to the library. I'm almost done with it. I have like 100 pages left to go. I can fucking do this. So I did finish All Roads Lead Here last night, and I think I'm gonna round this up to 4 stars. I really enjoyed this book, but it was definitely way too fucking long. And Rhodes never stopped calling her Buddy, even after he explained why he was calling her Buddy. It just did did not work for me. But overall, this book was really good. It was really cute. The last, like, honestly, 50 pages made me want to cry the entire time I was reading them. Like, it just kept beating the feelings like a dead horse, and it actually kind of worked for me, and I was trying not to cry. The only thing I'm actually disappointed about is there really wasn't a whole lot of sex in this, like, at all. It was extremely tame. I just think I was expecting from, like, an indie romance, like, some not nasty ass smutty times, and that did not happen. I'm not sure if this is just, like, not that author's thing, which is totally fine. Like, I'm cool with that, but I was just kind of expecting, like, some smuttiness, and there was absolutely none. Like, they had, like, sex one time, and it was a little graphic, but it wasn't anything of, like, what I would put past traditional romance. Like, it was very, very, very tame. My biggest frustration actually was the fact that our main character, Aurora, is honestly very frustrating. She's very annoying. I have a really hard time reading her and being in her head just because I find her so juvenile and naive as a person. And I think that she definitely has some character arcs moments going on, and I appreciate that, but she still as a character was just, like, not my favorite person. I really did like Rhodes, though. He was very broody and silent. Not that I like my men silent or anything. I'm just being like, it worked for him. Girl, I gotta calm down. I liked his, like, broody, quiet nature, like the quiet strength kind of people. And he was obviously very, like, he couldn't articulate how he felt, but he was very affectionate with her whenever she needed a hug. Physical touch is my love language, so I think that's why whenever people are very physically affectionate in books or a romance, especially, my heart just soars because I love a good hug. Just even like someone touching your elbow or grabbing your shoulder and saying everything's gonna be okay, like, that's just, like, what I need. And so every single time something happened, she would just hug him for, like, a minute or two. It's so cute. I also realized I probably never gave you guys a synopsis of this book, so let me sum it up really quick. But basically, Rhodes is a single dad who begrudgingly allows Aurora to move into his garage, like his free space above his garage. She is reeling from the death of her mother from how many years ago, and she's also just gotten out of a 14-year relationship with someone who is a complete asshole. But the problem with her mom is the fact that she moved back to her, like, native hometown where her mother disappeared / died, and we don't really know what happened to her. She disappeared when she was hiking. So that's the whole premise of this book. She's trying to figure out who she really is, but also heal from her past, and not just, like, her recent past, but, like, past, like, 20 something years ago with her mom. And moving back to the town where she grew up in and her mom disappeared, I feel like that's a really difficult, stressful thing to do and to heal from, but Rhodes was the perfect person to help her heal from that. There's also a really interesting dynamic with Rhodes and his son, which you'll find out more about in this book. I really liked this book. I think it was really well done. My biggest frustration is just her as a character. If she was a little bit different and a little bit less manic pixie dream girl, but, like, can't do anything with her life and can't get it together, I think I would have liked her a lot more. Anyway, now I'm gonna move back on over to Punk 57, and I actually got halfway through this book, so I'm kind of debating if I'm going to, for the sake of time, start from the halfway point again, or if I'm just gonna reread the whole thing, because I don't have it on audio or anything, so I would have to read it physically. But I don't know how I feel about that. It's not a very long book, and I really remember the first half pretty well, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, it's been about a month since I've actually, like, read it, and even though I do remember it pretty well, I feel like it's a disservice to start from the halfway point again, but I did already read it. So as of this moment, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this. I'm honestly very torn. I am very tempted to just begin again from the halfway point where I left off, because I do remember exactly where I left off, but at the same time, like, I really did enjoy the first half, so, like, maybe I should just reread it. I don't know. There was already really hot sex scene and stuff that's already happened, so I kind of want to, like, reread it for that purpose anyway. But I haven't really decided. I'm feeling really indecisive lately, and it's really frustrating because I'm a very decisive person, okay? I know what the fuck I want all the time, so when I don't know what I want, I'm very confused. But so far, this reading vlog is going really well. I'm definitely looking to pick up more indie romances. I definitely would read more from Mariana Zapata. I think she has the one from Lukov with Love. I think that's her book. So if I can find the books, I'll definitely request it to my library. But I also have a lot of books I need to read, honestly, over, like, the next couple of months, because I'm very behind on my arcs. Like, I have, like, 12 arcs I still have not read, and it's just because, like, I requested, like, fucking 50 of them literally last, like, September, or no, I don't remember. It was late last fall, and I requested them, and I didn't think I was gonna get so many of them, but I did. And so now I have to read them. But, like, the minute I get something, I don't want to read it. I don't know what that is. What is that? Can someone please explain to me what that thing is? Like, the minute I pick this up from the library, unless I read it, like, the day I get it, like, I don't want to touch it. I have so many books, like, on my physical TBR downstairs in my bookshelf, and I never want to fucking touch them because I already have them. I don't understand. What is this thing about, like, wanting something you can't have, and the minute you get it, I don't want it anymore? What trauma is that? Please explain. Anyway, I'll give you guys an update when I finally decide what I'm gonna do with this bad boy. baddest bitch of them all, me. So I actually got to 200 pages into Punk 57 in 24 hours. So I did decide to start from the beginning. I just feel like I enjoyed it so much the first time. I wanted to reread it and get the experience all the way through. Loving it. I would love to finish it tonight because it is like 3 days overdue to my library. So that's my bad, but I refuse to return it again before finishing it because like I will never finish this fucking vlog. Also, my hair has been in the same hairstyle for like 4 days because I keep getting really bad headaches from work because I'm so fucking stressed out and I keep having to put stuff on my neck. So I got these lovely claw clips that actually hold all my hair up and then I can just put stuff on my neck all fucking day. Do you guys ever have like seasons of your life where you have to do something a certain way? I had like a 10-month stint where I only wore dresses. Like I only wore dresses and skirts. I fucking hated pants. Even when I got home, my relaxed clothes were nightgowns. Dead ass. And I'm in a phase right now where I have to expose my shoulders at literally all times. That's why they're actually like the most tan part of me right now because like I refuse to put anything on top of them. I hate it. I hate the feeling. I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't want them exposed at literally all times. And I also am really having a hard time feeling hair on my shoulders right now. Unless I'm like cool with it, which is fine. Like some days I'm fine with it, but most days like don't fucking touch me. Like I want to tear off my hair 99% of the time and like shave it. I'm done. Maybe it's just because it's becoming summertime again. I don't fucking know. But either way, I will finish Punk 57 in the next day or two. But I just want to fill you in on that little fun tidbit. And now I'm going to go run some errands. So catch up with you later. So I finished Punk 57, but I have to say that I don't really know how I feel about this book. I have really struggled and teeter-tottered with the ratings. And I keep going between like a 3-star and a 5-star. I just feel like this is one of those books that is very difficult for me to rate because I really enjoyed it, but definitely had some aspects I didn't enjoy. But at the same time, I literally read it in like 2 days. And I read the first half again and I enjoyed it. So I feel like it can't get anything less than like a 4-star. So I'm gonna go in the middle and we're going with 4 stars. I feel like this book was really, really good and it was really fun to read. It was very steamy and it was so different. And I think that's also just why I enjoyed it. I personally haven't read anything like this book before, so I don't think I have anything to really compare it against because I've never really read like a bully romance, in my opinion, especially like a bully indie romance. It's a genre I've never really truly explored, but at least I knew it was a bully romance going into it. I can see why people don't like it. Is definitely quite problematic, but there's things about that work for it. I would definitely categorize this as new adult. I would not picture this as young adult, even though the characters are like 17 years old. There is a lot of sex, graphic sex. There is a lot of swearing, including a lot of really intense adult words that I wouldn't recommend for most young adult readers. But of course, I love those things, so that's not a problem for me at all. I just want to let you guys know in case you're interested. So to sum this whole book up, we are focusing on Ryan and Misha. So Ryan is the female here and Misha is the male, but their 5th grade teachers thought they were each the opposite sex, and that's why they set them up as pen pals. What was that I said? Pen pals, and thus their relationship has blossomed and have talked for years and years and years. They are now 17. They are now really good friends. However, something happens to Misha early on that's a very tragic event, and he stops talking to Ryan for a couple of months, and she's of course taking it very personally, and she's lashing out because she doesn't really know how to deal with the lack of his friendship. There was always something kind of like between them as well. So whenever they accidentally meet in person, Misha knows it's Ryan and just kind of like falls even more in love with her, but then realizes she's not who he thought she was whenever he ends up going and crashing the last semester of high school at her school, and he really sees who she is and who she's hanging around and who she's parading around to be, and he realizes that she was writing as if she was like a different person, and so then he kind of ends up bullying her into being the Ryan he was wanting and expecting. There's no other way to describe that. But in terms of a romance, I always felt the sexual tension. I always felt the relationship between them. There was always a red thread between these characters. I always felt the relationship. It is something that I think a lot of books struggle with, but even as a pen pal relationship in the past, something about it worked because I could actually feel how long they'd been together, how long their relationship had progressed, and what they've actually told each other, which made the bullying so much better because he could really get under her skin because he really knows her. So it's kind of like devious and fucked up, but like I kind of love that aspect. I'm not gonna lie. It was very interesting to see him kind of like keep grating at her until she became who she was supposed to be. Like the true version of Ryan that he knows. I feel like I got really dark there for a second, so I added in a second ring light. Hopefully that's better. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book. The only thing I really didn't like was actually the epilogue. It was way too sappy and sweet, and it was too far in the future for me to care about them as characters. I feel like I would have liked to see an epilogue maybe a year or two later when they were in college and kind of like becoming who they wanted to be. I really didn't need an epilogue that far in the future with that kind of a future laid out. I just feel like it ruined what actually was built. I don't know how else to describe that, but I feel like it undermined the rest of the novel a little bit. Like I was really rooting for them as teenagers and I was accepting their flaws, but seeing them as like grown ass adults going through those things, I just didn't couldn't picture it as easily. I feel like their behavior as teenagers was easier for me to condone or accept. But overall, this book was really heartbreaking and satisfying. Like, there was a lot of nuance in this that I wasn't really expecting. And like, would I read it again? Absolutely. I think this reading vlog has really taught me that I do enjoy indie romance, and I'm definitely going to go ahead and try to give each one of these authors their own respective reading vlogs where I just read their books, because I really like both their writing styles. They're both very different, and I like what they're tackling. I feel like that's something that the contemporary romance genre cannot do, is tackle these sorts of things and explore these sorts of themes in the way that I would like them explored, like they were in these books. And maybe I like bully romances. It didn't not work for me. It did not work. All of that behind us. Thank you guys so much for watching this reading vlog. It has been many, many, many months in the making, and I had to get these books in the library multiple times, and I finally finished it. So I feel quite accomplished, but now I'm actually really excited to dig into these authors further. So I'm sure you'll see more from me in the future about these ones. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a lovely day.